Zamboni's on 7th, a restaurant and bar right across the street from Grand Casino Arena in downtown St. Paul. You'll find a joke at 8 p.m. on Wednesdays. Enjoy happy hour food and drink specials when you stop in for the shows. Or if you've got something to say and enjoy stepping into the spotlight, go to zambonison7th.com and sign up to join the show. Spots fill up fast, and they do cap the number of comedians each week, so do not delay. Also, stay tuned for details on their once-a-month Friday night comedy show, Freaky Funny Fridays, beginning Friday, November 21st, featuring some of the hottest comedians in the Twin Cities. Zamboni's on 7th is a joke, but only on Wednesday evenings. And the occasional Friday.
All right. Well, there you have it. Welcome in to the first episode of the Quinn Hughes era of Wildly Informed. Brett and Isha with you here, I think for the first time during a Minnesota Wild game, aside from some of the intermission little spots that I've done with you on the live streams. But for those that are joining us in the chat, doing double duties with the Wild, we welcome you. For those listening in to the recordings later on, happy that you're listening. Obviously, bulk of the show today, we'll talk about Quinn Hughes. We have a couple things that we'll hit right off the top, and then we'll spend the rest of the time. Really cool perspective on the Sota pod. You know, obviously having you, Isha, being from Vancouver, getting to kind of watch the early stage of his career, talk about the player that we're getting. So excited to hear your takes on it. I'll look at some of the things under the hood with the analytics. We'll talk about just everything there is to talk about. You've probably listened to it already, but if there's anything I've learned from Twitter is that people cannot get enough Quinn Hughes content right now. So we'll have a lot to get to. Before we get into everything, Isha, how you doing?
Pretty good. Like the dust is like settled a little bit now, though it's still weird to see him in an away jersey. We've seen him in the Subway jersey. We've seen him in the away jersey and like the normal green. Now we see the classic one.
I think we have. Do we have like maybe one game left with those? I think they're only wearing them 4 times this year.
Oh, okay.
I thought. They've worn them at least twice.
Now that the dust is settled, I'm doing better because like Minnesota hockey is just hyped. I mean, I do only Wild coverage. I don't do any Canucks coverage, and it's just sad over there. Now, I will say this, like I was telling some of my friends who were like, "Oh man, this is I don't know about this." Like I felt the same way in that like my team just lost Quinn Hughes and couldn't keep him and couldn't build around him and some of the other young pieces they had. So in that regard, I'm gutted. But like the Vancouver Canucks got the best return that they could have gotten in the NHL. Mm-hmm. Billy Guerin even said like Rutherford was like, we need a prospect, a center, a defenseman, and a prospect. And he's like, I have those things. Like, here's the offer, right? So we know how good Makar is and can be. We know how good Ogren can be, whether it's just like a second liner or even just like one of the best third liners for your team. High floor prospect, which is always great. Zeev Buium will replace Quinn Hughes. Now, no one's going to be able to replace Quinn Hughes, but he will replace that role as a amazing and star offensive defenseman who we haven't even seen. We've seen glimpses of a potential. We haven't even seen his potential in Minnesota yet. And then, first round pick. Now, I know the Canucks don't have Judd Brackett anymore, but they hit with Coots last year. Let's see if they can hit this year.
And they just got 3 Judd Brackett draft picks. So
yeah, that's exactly. So still making his mark in Vancouver. So like it's win-win for me. Like I get to follow some good players that we praised and talked about here in Minnesota. And I get to see like Zeev Buium now develop in a Vancouver Canucks sweater, which looks damn. All 3 of them look damn good in that blue and green. And Ogren scoring a freaking snipe beauty the other night.
Ogren choosing number 92. Didn't realize he had that game, so pretty dope that he chose one of my favorite numbers.
Which, by the way,
93 is kind of a sick number.
Yeah, like that
William
as well.
Choosing 24 in honor of Chelios, but also Bogosian is really like
I
cool.
like the Bogosian ode. You know why? Because it's very Quinn Hughes-esque. Now, Quinn Hughes didn't take Luke Schen's number, but like Quinn Hughes had nothing but like amazing things to say about Luke Schenn, and that was his like first defensive partner with the Vancouver Canucks. And Luke Schenn, that stage in his career, most of his career, very much like a Bogosian type of player. And these guys really credited them to helping, round out their game early. So I like that. I was like, oh, look at that little shade of Quinn Hughes.
Yeah, so that's cool. So like I said at the top, we'll spend a good chunk of the show. We'll probably go a little bit off script. We'll have the hockey headlines, analytics agenda, but Puck Your Opinions will kind of just be rolled into the whole show. So if each at some point might just throw the drop in there for the sake of it.
I just drop it right now. We'll just drop it right now.
I just want to say, Puck Your Opinion.
Yeah. So we'll start here. Couple headlines. I think the first one that we'll get to here, I think this happened a while ago. It's just like finalizing numbers and everything. The Pittsburgh Penguins officially sold at a $1.7 billion valuation from the Fenways, who own the Boston Red Sox, obviously, now to the Hoffmans. And I think that's like the higher end of what NHL teams are going for right now. But when you look at, Crosby and the impact that has had, that's going to obviously have a pretty good look for your franchise. So it's been nice. I think at Talking Hockey on Instagram, I think occasionally has little snippets of kind of what NHL teams are worth compared to the other 4 major sports teams kind of across. And the NHL has slowly been climbing up, which is good to see. A little bit of a nugget there. Tyson Forster of the Flyers, who we talked about, I think a couple shows ago, so he's going to be out indefinitely with an injury. That has now been updated to a 5-month timeline after undergoing surgery on his arm. So tough blow for the Flyers, who are actually having, I think, probably one of the more surprising teams this year. Logan Cooley, who I think we talked about last week, of the Utah Mammoth, former Gopher. His injury to the leg injury that we showed last week. He's going to be out a minimum of 8 weeks, so pretty big loss for Utah.
Not 5 months though.
Yeah,
it could have been like they were talking how like this one's season ender, like he's still going to be rehabbing in the summer. Like
it didn't look good.
Yeah, it didn't look good at all. So glad that it's not as bad as they were projecting it to be, especially since his leg just looked like Gumby hitting the friggin' post there.
It literally did. Yeah. Leon Draisaitl hit the 1,000 career points mark. Kind of funny that he managed to do that against Stuart Skinner.
Dude, did you see that? It was such a sad clip. They were all celebrating right in front of him.
Yeah.
Like he was just there, like literally like shoveling the snow out of his crease, just moping as Stuart Skinner, I guess, does at this stage of his career. And just, oh man. I will say when they all skated back to the bench, McDavid did give him a tap. And was just what's up? Yeah. So I know McDavid had a lot of respect for him and, took a lot of, went to bat for him in the media a lot as well.
Yeah. And, obviously the players don't have a say in who gets traded and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, that we'll jump ahead here on our little outline. Speaking of Stuart Skinner playing goalie for the Penguins, that's because the biggest trade before the Quinn Hughes trade was the Oilers and Penguins making a swap, with the Oilers acquiring Tristan Jarry and Samuel Poulin from Pittsburgh in exchange for Stuart Skinner, Brett Kulak, and a 2029 second-round pick. Just masterful work by Kyle Dubas, in my opinion. If you remember, I believe Tristan Jarry at one point last year was on waivers, and they have now turned that into a goalie who is realistically probably right about the same skill level as him, a solid defenseman in Brett Kulak, who they can probably flip near the trade deadline for more assets, and a second-round pick in 2029 when McDavid might be off the Oilers, and that pick could actually be halfway in the second round.
Well, it's insane because Jerry can play. We've seen that he can play, but he's just a Band-Aid. And some goalies are, man, because it's the way that the position is played these days. Like your hips, your knees, so many tendons are just getting absolutely destroyed so early in these guys' careers.
A very lateral move. So is Jarry actually hurt now too? Oh my god.
Yeah. And that's why I said that. And he's hurt now too. So it's just wow, what a. I'm not a fan of the Oilers, and I personally don't care if McDavid ever wins the cup. I'm not it would be awesome because he's one of the best players out there. But if it's not with the teams I have a rooting interest in, I really don't care. And
right, yeah,
I would Calgary as a way softer spot in my heart because I lived in Calgary for a little bit. Right when I graduated high school that summer, I moved to Calgary for 2 years before coming back home for college. And so my first NHL games, I never went to Rogers Arena for a Vancouver game at the time. My first NHL games were the Saddle Dome, and and the Canucks just beat up on Calgary literally my whole childhood. So it's Calgary, I don't really have anything against you. Edmonton, their fans are just annoying, and other than West Edmonton Mall, which is basically Mall of America
It literally
with a hockey rink in it.
It's one of the few places in Canada I've actually been, and it's a spot on assessment. It's
Uh,
Mall
I-
of America if it had a water park.
I was like, oh, Brett, sucks. Like Calgary is one of the most underrated cities in Canada. I loved every second I lived in Calgary.
I've also been to Calgary briefly, not super long. It was like a day.
Calgary's awesome. Edmonton, I'm sorry, it's a fucking dump. Like, and little things could be done. Like, it just looks like it's still in the 90s. Like, every lamppost is rusted as hell. Everything is brick. It just feels like, I don't know. It just feels like our schools and colleges in the 90s and malls in the 90s, but like everywhere. And it just needs a facelift. And maybe it has since I lived there. It's been a while, but I remember I'd go up to Edmonton for concerts or I'd drive to Red Deer a lot to watch WHL games. Matt Dumbo was on the team at the time. Him, Nuge. Yeah, the Red Deer Rebels were a sick team. And every now and then we go up to like Edmonton for a game or a show or something. And I was always just like, oh man, like why? Why am I doing this? I'd just rather wait and do stuff in Calgary. But anyways.
So overall there to me, like we'll talk about it we talked a little bit already, but like not every trade has a winner and a loser. I think Pittsburgh's a clear winner in this one. Like I don't think Edmonton, I don't think their team got worse per se, but like I don't think they really got better, and they gave up assets to make essentially in my mind a lateral move. But
yeah,
we'll see if it works out. Obviously the injury early on, not good dividends on the early return, but we'll see how that plays out for both sides. A couple other tidbits here. This was pretty big news. I think Sabres fans are pretty happy about this. Their GM, Kevin Adams, finally fired, and they bring in a pretty seasoned GM in Jarmo Kekalainen in his place, who used to manage these very same Blue Jackets at the while they're playing. So obviously when you have the mid-change or the mid-season change of GM, always opens up the door. You wonder, like, you know, not immediately, but you know, you could wonder if trade rumors start to pick up here. Or get accelerated for the Sabres with Kekalainen coming in, trying to make some changes. Obviously, names like Tage Thompson, Alex Tuck, probably some of the bigger ones to watch here as things go on. And you'd imagine if they become available, the Wild, with the assets they have left, will probably attempt to be in on some of those guys as well.
It's crazy because with Buffalo, with how bad the team has been, but how valuable a lot of their players are, like they could make some hockey trades and really just, I'm not going to say turn things around and be like super competitive because it's going to take some time, but like turn things around way better than they are right now in the sense that like maybe they'll find some chemistry with these guys, not just to put up points, but to actually like dig deep and win games.
Right, and they have some good players. They have some good prospects. So yeah, I'm.
They've had good players and prospects for almost a decade.
No,
it's crazy, man.
Like I genuinely do feel bad for their fans because like I like the Sabres as a team. Like I like a lot of their players, and like jerseys are sick. Like it's a pretty good hockey city. Like they've got a pretty big passion for hockey there. But
they're to me what the Blue Jackets are to Wild fans too. They came in as expansion with the Vancouver Canucks in
I like the Blue Jackets too. Yeah, like it's just like I just genuinely feel bad for them, especially like being owned by the Pagulas, who like
do not care at all about the Sabres compared to their Bills.
The Bills are like premier franchise, very good, like Super Bowl contender again this year, especially now with the Chiefs out of it, who have kind of been like their kryptonite. Like, yeah, like I genuinely feel bad for them, but hopefully this is a sign of better days ahead for them. But if there's any Sabres fans, Godspeed to you in the comments here.
By the way, we are watching the third period live of this game. I know some of you will be listening to the podcast, but like we are on Ben Jones' point watch here because he's going back down right after this game. Right after this game, he's going back down.
God, I hope so.
But hey, you got to be rooting for him to at least get a point. Like after all of this.
Tyler Pitlick gave him his best chance, and
bro, I've been on Ben Jones' point watch for the last 3 games, and like I don't even want to say he's come close a couple times, but like when he's in the offensive zone, I am buzzing. So
well, here's the thing: if Ben Jones gets a point, I'm going to be added on Twitter immediately by Pat Micheletti. So he and I have been.
If Ben Jones gets a point, I'm shotgunning a beer on stream.
Yeah, so we're watching live. I'm at the 14-20 mark, so I don't know if you're ahead or behind me, but
I'm pretty much exactly the same.
Oh, so. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, dude. Shout out to NHL 66. Anyways,
let's see what else we got here. Big news here for Team Canada, Chicago Blackhawks. Connor Bedard has a separated shoulder and is out until at least January. If you saw the play, like kind of a weird one, like kind of got tied up off the draw, and I think the other centers kind of pushed on him with his stick. Like, I wouldn't say it was a cross check, but just, I mean, it was that motion, but it wasn't like a vicious play or anything. And, yeah, like he got hurt, and out expected now, end of January. No surgery expected as of now. But I think that's significant for his Team Canada aspirations. As they reportedly Team Canada expected to release their roster on New Year's Eve for the Olympics. So that's what 2 weeks away from now. So they, I would assume they'll have some Team Canada will know some more clarity. I would assume, but probably definitely lowers his chances of making that team, and probably. I think there's been the debate we've had on this show, like the Celebrini, Bedard should one, both, neither be on the team, but definitely hurts him and his chances. And bummer for I'm never gonna have sympathy for Chicago, but he was having a really good year, so tough blow for them, but should just help to further that gap for the third place in division. Not that the Quinn Hughes trade didn't accomplish that already, but big blow for potentially Team Canada and for sure for the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, I'm glad because with shoulder, man, I know sometimes dislocations and stuff like that and small separations, you get it back in and you literally just need time for it just to settle and then some small rehab. But it's either you can come back in 3 to 4 weeks or you're done for a long time and you need surgery. And I know especially in hockey, football, and in fighting, shoulder, whenever you get surgery, it's your mobility is lessened a bit to the point where I've seen even football players and fighters who just 2-3 shoulder surgeries and you're done. You can't lower it or raise it certain ways, and you know how that, especially for hockey and someone like that. So someone that skilled as Bedard, I'm happy that it's nothing that needs surgery, because shoulder surgery is nasty. I mean,
you look at the injury that derailed Matt Dumba's career, it was a shoulder injury. Not to say that Dumba and Bedard are the same players, and obviously, I think Dumba did undergo surgery, and I think might have missed a good chunk of that season after that. But yeah, so you hope for the best. I always say, as much as I dislike teams and will root against players, I enjoy watching hockey when the best players are playing. And Connor Bedard is going to be a generational talent, already showing that this year. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I think that's it. Unless you have any other non-Minnesota Wild Quinn Hughes stuff. If not, we can get into that.
No. Let's dive right into it.
So you talked a little bit off the hop. To recap the deal, in case you've been living under a rock, the Wild acquired Quinn Hughes from the Vancouver Canucks, gave up Zeev Buia, Marco Rossi, Liam Ogren, and a 2026 unprotected first-round pick, so the equivalent of 4 first-round draft picks, as we joked about, all of those also being Judd Brackett picks, which is kind of funny because it's basically the 3 first-round picks he's made since coming to Minnesota, I think outside of Stramel. Is that right? Or there may have been a couple other ones in there, but a year off it'd be another one, but that was 2 picks, and Wallstedt. But still, kind of funny in that sense.
It's giving back to Vancouver a little bit, his former team.
Yeah, exactly. So, my initial thoughts, it came out of nowhere for me.
Everybody came out of nowhere.
We had heard, there's Quinn Hughes talks, and, I never really considered it. I was we got Faber, we got Buium, Spurgeon, Brodin, we're set. The Wild, if they're making a big trade, it's going to be for a forward. And I'm sitting at my parents' house. We're about to go to dinner to celebrate Morgan and I's engagement, and I looked down at my phone, and I missed the initial trade. So what I saw was the tweet from Russo that said the Wild are sending Ogren, Rossi, Buium in a first. I'm holy.
That was the same with Hoppy, and he was just I guess that's a lot for Pettersson.
Well, and I didn't see who it was sending to. I didn't know. I was oh my god, what did Bill Guerin's made a horrible trade, and then I'm we got who?
Yeah. Okay. So Hoppy knew it was going to Vancouver, so his first thing was there's no way they paid that much for Kiefer, so I guess we're bringing in Pettersson. And then he was wait, Hughes?
Yeah, and that's that was my my first thing was just shock, wow. And to your point at the top of the show, having a chance the dust to settle, there were several times Friday night, Saturday, Sunday where I was Quinn Hughes is on the Minnesota Wild.
It's so weird. And now every Wild fan gets to experience what every Canucks fan, and those who, some of you guys probably saw the memes on Twitter of his just zombie face and the way he gets on the bench.
If there's any cultured Disney fans out there, his name is Goob from Meet the Robinsons. if you're able to pull up a picture, but same energy as Goob from Meet the Robinsons. But
there you go.
The dark circles, just looks exhausted and tired all the time. Just sick of it to be here. But the interesting part of the trade is there was, I think to your point, there's not a lot of people or there is a lot of people, but the casual Minnesota Wild fan probably hasn't watched enough of Quinn Hughes to understand like he is that good. But like the people, like, I can't believe we gave up Buium and we gave up all this stuff. And
I knew he was that good when he was in Michigan. I say this all the time. My friend who I co-founded the Hockey Podcast Network with, and who I did a lot of Canucks radio, and my first ever podcast with my boy Dylan. We were still doing the Canucks podcast and radio show at the time. And the Canucks needed a defenseman. They had a top 10 pick. So basically we were doing prep for our radio show. I think we were like having a couple beers and hanging out at his house. And we literally were just watching, like, Noah Dobson was in that draft. The defenseman with Edmonton was in that draft. Like, there were so many great defensemen. And I remember we watched all the tape on all the Canadian junior guys, on a few of the other college guys. And as soon as we turned on these Michigan games, man, when I saw him skate, we both just rose to our feet. And we're like, oh my God, this guy is something else. And that was before his even offense developed to what it is now in the National Hockey League. I was just that impressed with his skating. And again, that was before he was even drafted with the Canucks. When he was drafted with the Canucks, I had the same reaction that Wild fans had when he was traded. I was like, how did we land him? How did we make the right pick? Shout out to Judd Brackett. And how did he just fall into our lap? So I've known, and I'm one of the few who've been saying he's as good or better than Makar. You can make that argument because Makar brings, I think they're both like at the same level. I just think there's some different attributes that Makar brings in his game, and Quinn Hughes skating is better than anything I've seen since Dennis Savard.
Yeah, and I think I chimed in a little bit when you were talking about this on, I think it was on Judd's Buds earlier this week. I will 100% hear the argument that he is the best defenseman in the NHL. I think he's the more well-rounded. And if you look at some of the stats where Cale Makar is playing away from Nathan MacKinnon, they're not great. They're not horrible, but they're not elite. Where like Quinn Hughes, I mean, they had obviously the Norris season, when they had JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, some of those pieces.
When they had a good team, but he still carries offense and point production and play without good players.
Yeah. And that's how I was trying to communicate to people. Is like the Wild just acquired a undeniable top 2 player at his position. Like if you want to throw like a Heiskanen in there, or like I think at one point maybe Adam Fox was in that conversation, but I think maybe not as much anymore. But like he is one of the best players at his position, and like you're getting him for the rest of this season. You're getting him for all of next season.
He's staying.
Right, and I think and that was the big thing that I think that was like, oh my God, we give all this and he's going to go to New Jersey. And like he's gonna walk, and like
I mean, did you hear his press conference right after the first game?
Yeah,
he was just like, "Look, I don't know how much I can say." So right after, that's a good sign right off the bat. Yeah. And he's basically Jim Rutherford sat me down and we talked about places that I wanted to go, places that I'd be interested in winning, places that are close to Michigan.
And to clarify, he didn't have like a no move clause or anything. It was just like it was the Canucks doing something.
It was human.
Nice
It's like, you've done so much for us. Well, he said American Thanksgiving is when the Canucks had so many injuries, and he was like, "Okay, we're not winning this year, so I want you to
let's
trade
start
me."
looking around.
Yep. Yeah. And so he was very vocal about that. And then, dude, when he got the players cap as player of the game after his first game with them, like just hearing that much, which wasn't a lot, but that much emotion from Quinn Hughes. He said this is a sick team. It's like, oh, dude, like,
yeah. Well, I mean, who doesn't want to play with Kirill Kaprizov and Matt Boldy? Like, especially the way they've been playing.
Or excuse me, his defense partner.
Yeah, Faber. I mean,
arguably the best defense pairing in the NHL. Well, what will potentially develop into the best defense pair in the NHL?
Yeah, 100%.
It's insane.
And like to get back to the extension talk, like my initial gut was like, oh man, like if they don't get this, if they don't re-sign him, like this is going to be a disaster. But to your point, like having some time to kind of sit on, which is like I'm glad we've actually done this podcast a little bit later versus like instantaneous reaction, because I've had some more time to kind of think on things.
And even just some games to watch him play.
And just some games to watch. Like, that's been awesome. But, like, the first thing I'll say is this. It's that, like, I've come around on the contract thing. Like, either, one, they won't sign him, and they'll know that next summer, and they'll be able to start basically doing exactly what Vancouver just did. And maybe not – you're probably not going to get quite the same package back because teams like, hey, no, he's not going to resign with you. Like, you're a little hamstrung.
Yeah.
And like, he has to go to
Hey,
a team
he
in order to
also
yank him.
commented on how much he respected and will never forget what Billy gave up to acquire him. So like,
Which in
he
my
just
mind
like
was
all those things are
which
things
was
that
a
like,
huge dig in my mind to New Jersey and Detroit.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and then the thing is like Quinn, like he says the right things. He was a captain in Vancouver.
Mhm.
Like he's a leader by example. And but he doesn't say a lot. Like he's not verbose. He'll just say what needs to be said. Even when he's frustrated, he's kind of like blunt, but not, there weren't any headlines about Quinn Hughes saying anything controversial. Pedersen, on the other hand, he would, him and JT Miller had, a little attitude at times, right? They were a little smart ass at times with their comments, whereas Quinn was just like a pro in and out. The fact that he's saying these extra things, I'm telling you, Wild fans, is huge, man. Huge. Like the last time I heard him say things like that was when he was drafted and they gave him so much rope his first season with the Canucks.
Mm-hmm.
And when they made him
other,
the captain,
yeah.
right? Like,
and the other things, for those that have kind of read the articles, you've probably looked at this or read it on Twitter, but the Wild are the only team that can give him an 8-year deal under the new CBA.
They just match that Krill deal and let's just go.
Right. And on top of that, they're the only team that can give him very like bonus heavy, upfront money. Like basically they have all these things they can offer on a next contract that nobody else can. At least while he's under the Wild. If they trade him before that date, other team is able to do that, in which case the Wild are probably say, hey, if you're going to give him that deal, we need more coming back in that trade, which upped his value there. Maybe back to very similar package what you gave up. On the flip side, though, which I think maybe a lot of people have thought about, like he doesn't have to sign for 8 years.
I think it's either going to be 3 to line up with his brother or 8. I think there's not going to be much in the middle. I think it's going to be a shorter term so that him and his brother, hey, let's see if we can line up on a team together.
100%.
And even then, he might still just re-sign with the right. And maybe he brings Jack with him, right? And we see an even bigger celebration on July 1st.
Yeah, and if you're the Wild, like
speaking of the Wild, they just scored. Let's go, baby!
Oh, you are a little bit ahead of me. Hold on. Oh, is it Ecker? Olds. Ecker. That goal all started with a Quinn Hughes transition, by the way, in the neutral zone. But like to me, like I think like you look at. We talked about on this show when the Wild gave the extension to Kaprizov, and we were leading up to it, I was like, I'm a little skeptical of an 8-year deal because Kirill's probably got 2 to 3 years of his best hockey left in him. So you now have Kirill Kaprizov's best 2 to 3 years. You're going to have prime Matt Boldy, whose absolute peak is probably over the next 2 to 3 years. And
he could peak at like 30, 31 because he just doesn't get injured and he's that much of a fucking freak athlete too. So
and I think like defensemen, I think we see them, it's more common to be better into their 30s. Like a 2 to 3, 4 year deal, like I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing either. Like obviously would I love to have Quinn Hughes locked up for 8 years? Yes, absolutely I would. Quinn Hughes and Brock Faber for the next
again, that could be the best line or the best defensive pairing in hockey. Like that's some like Niedermeyer line shit, dude. Like that's insane.
It's right there with Makar and Taze, who've been awesome. But so like there are several situations where I can see it working out. I think to your point that like, hey, like let's not force things now with Jack. Like New Jersey's a little bit of a mess at times. Like they've had some big ups, some big downs. But maybe just now is not the time. Like he would go there. He would take one of his brother's numbers. He'd go there and he'd become the best Hughes. And it just maybe now just wasn't the right time for it. Whereas and per Russo's reporting too, like he wrote this that basically like Jack said Quinn said point blank. It's like I'm hesitant to go to New Jersey because I don't want to halt Luke's development. Like Luke's playing top line defense. He's playing on the power play. He's younger. Like Quinn doesn't want to go in there and ruin that either. Like. And now with things like the Olympics, with the 4 Nations, like it's pretty obvious that Jack and Quinn are going to be there. Luke potentially down the road. Like there are opportunities for them to still play together, like every other couple years. Quinn's closer to home, so there are a lot
Quinn
of
just needs to convince Brady Tkachuk, just tell the Senators, it's not working out here anymore, guys.
But and that's the next thing I have on here is
that's basically his stepbrother. Those guys are just as close, the Tkachuks and Hughes,
and not specifically the Tkachuks or Brady, but we talked about like it can be hard at times if you're the Wild to. Get a player to move to come to Minnesota to sign a player in free agency.
But now this opens
the
the
Quinn Hughes extends, and you're a free agent. And you're like, hey, where do I want to go to win? and you look at, okay, they got Jesper Wallstedt, they got Kirill Kaprizov, they got Matt Boley, they got Brock Faber, they got Kirill Kaprizov, they got Joel Eriksson-Ek.
I mean, and Gus. You got to throw Gus. Like they got.
Like
it's just that is a team that even
Like,
7 guys decimated can still come back in hockey games, can beat the Capitals 5-0. Like
it makes Minnesota a destination that, to me, the Parise Suter, you can maybe argue it did a little bit of that, but it makes.
But they were Minnesota guys. It's different.
Correct.
Hughes is not a Minnesota guy. It's different.
It puts Minnesota in a spot among the rest of the league that they've never been in, which is a place that pretty much every player probably wants to come play. It's unfortunate that you're battling still probably throughout this with Colorado and Dallas, but that's the way it is. But
you know what? Like it, as fans, we get to see the best hockey in arguably like one of the best divisions. So
yeah,
let's go.
So like to me, it goes way beyond just how good he makes team this year, next year, but an extension just like. I think the term franchise altering can be like a really big phrase for like in a lot of like I think it maybe like gets thrown out sometimes, but like it truly would be if he extends, like this becomes a franchise altering trade and arguably one of the biggest trades that's ever happened in the NHL in the 21st century.
Well, I mean, it's clearly the biggest trade in Wild history. Like
with Wild,
and it's not even close
for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Dude, I was thinking like I wonder how expensive of a bottle of vino Billy Guerin dove into after making that trade.
Yeah, but
well,
like,
meatballs and friggin' $2,000 bottle of wine, baby.
Well, and just like what a like I think we went over on this show. I did a survey in the off season where I polled. I think it ended up being I hit triple digits of Wild fans that are mostly in my circle on Twitter, just like on their pulse on the team, like how they felt about the confidence in Kirill Kaprizov's contract getting done, their confidence in Jesper Wallstedt, their belief that Bill Guerin can build a team, and like. It was pretty it was grim. Like people had their skepticism, but like I think if I ran that same poll now, like to quote Quinn Hughes, like Bill Guerin had the balls, the quote unquote or whatever, I forget the exact quote, but like basically like, hey, Billy had the balls to go make that trade, give up a lot, and like yeah, shout outs to Guerin on that. Like he said, hey, fuck it, like I'm in. Like we're out of the pre-suitor contacts, and there's a big fish out there, and.
Well, what were we saying? Oh, literally the last episode before we it's so hard to make a trade. No one's really shopping anything right now. Yeah, I guess the Canucks are, but it's Kiefer Sherwood, right? Like, and Billy Guerin's able to do it. So that definitely, even if you're super low on him, that has to raise it to like, okay, you're like neutral. And if you were neutral, this has to raise it to like, okay, I'm confident in my GM now. Yeah. And I don't think he's done. I think this opens up. Okay,
no,
it sucks, Brodin. Honestly, it sucks Brodin's hurt right now because like you could think like Brodin, Hartman, Jiricek, these guys are all guys who now might be dangled because I mean it sucks. Hunt got injured too, but like
I don't think Brodin is. I think you look at that top 4. I think they're going to keep that intact as long as they can.
It's an option now, is what I'm saying though. Like
it is.
I know it's like you just replaced one defenseman for another, but because of how good Quinn Hughes is, how many minutes he's going to eat up, it's like you now the way I see it now is like some of the assets were like that you couldn't even afford to put on the table on the back end. Now you can. Yeah. And like, let's be honest, I've been more stoked with Hunt's play, and it sucks he's out and it's like nasty knee on knee. I've been way more high on him than Jiricek. And if Jiricek can somehow still just keep his value, then maybe that's someone you just pull the trigger on, because I know Lambos has played like 8-9 minutes tonight, and he's every shift he's looked good too. I know it's one game, but like there's depth now. There's depth now there, which is fun.
Yeah, and like I think going into the last podcast, if you would have told me that Zeev Buium was on the
it was a compliment. Yeah, I'm saying he has value.
Yeah, like I think if you would have told me that Zeev Buium is on the table in a trade, I would have I'd be like, no, he doesn't. But
if Quinn Hughes is coming back,
they're not moving him.
Yeah, if Quinn Hughes is coming back, the guy who I think we compare him to.
I think Boldy, Kaprizov, Hughes, Faber. To me, that's probably the only 4 at this point that are untouchable. Like but you look at now, like to add more, like the Wild have like your next man up are your Height, Stramel, the 2027 first round pick. I'd assume is going to be probably their top asset right now, if I had to guess. There's been speculation about the goalies. To me, I would not do that.
I don't think so. I think that's pure just fan like, oh, now we have 2 goalies really good. Let's ship them out. When I think every franchise's wet dream is to have 2 good goalies. So it's like I think the franchise like whatever. Like that's just noise.
Like the only scenario where I see a goalie on the table is like if you are getting a bona fide top 6 proven, like not quite a Quinn Hughes, but like a 75 to
like a 30 goal
plus,
scorer, 70 points, like every year in the bag
with term or the ability to sign and trade. Like
because you're giving up a pillar piece.
Right. Like
that,
maybe
and a lot of teams don't have that edge, and that edge is 2 top goalies.
Yeah. And I think like maybe Tage Thompson would be like the one type of player, but I still like, I don't know. But the last thing I wanted to hit up was a little bit on Buium. Like I think that was the thing that shocked a lot of people. Like I said the minute Marco Rossi signed his extension, I said there's no chance.
Yeah, he's not ending the year with the Wild.
Well, I didn't say year. I said there's no way when that contract is up that he'll still be here. So like that one didn't come as a shock, but Buium was, and people are like, oh, I can't believe we traded Buium. He's got so much upside. And I was like, yeah, you know what that upside is? It's
Quinn Hughes. Yeah,
they just got it. And to our earlier point, like the Wild, like would it be great to have Zeev Buium develop into Quinn Hughes? Yes, but by the time he likely hits that in 2-3 years, when he starts to kind of show those abilities, be able to play the 200-foot game, do all of that, like Kaprizov's going to be 33, 34 years old. You're going to be coming toward the end of your Boldy contracts. Like the window the Wild have is going to be closing at that point. And yes, he could be a part of a second one that opens it, but you have the best pieces in place right now. Go get the upgrade over Buium and Hughes. And like to me, I was like, that's a no-brainer. And like, yeah, the other pieces are a lot, but like I think the Wild became a better team by doing this trade. And I think the Canucks, to your point, kind of right off the hop, they got the best possible package I think they could have hoped for. Obviously, sucks for their fans. It's a huge stand in the organization for not being able to keep a pillar piece around. But they made, in my mind, the absolute best out of a pretty horrible situation. And I think, I've said this many times, like I think this is a win-win trade for both teams. Especially, I think ultimately, if the Wild extend, I think I give them the edge just because you got the known asset, and usually, the general rule of thumb is when you make a trade, whoever gets the best player probably wins a trade more often than not. But
if Rossi, becomes like a 70-point guy, Zeev becomes, what we all thought he'd become, and even if Ogren's like a 30 to 40 guy, hey, I'm fine with that. I don't even care if the draft pick turns into anything at that point. Because that was cherry on top for me. You needed that to get it done, but I was like, sick. We got those 3 players and a chance to draft another solid guy. So yeah,
right. So like I'm excited to watch the Canucks. Like we've already seen. I don't know if Rossi's on the score sheet yet, but Zeev Buium had 2 points in his first game. Both kind of fluky. Liam Ogren squeaked one through the wickets the other night, got on the score sheet. So like those are all going to be guys that I'm going to cheer for their whole career. Like
Ogren did it with only like 7 minutes too, because he was on the 4th line. So I just love how he just like took the opportunity to shoot.
I did kind of laugh like, oh, maybe this will mean Ogren will get a shot up in the lineup.
I think they will. It's just
you want to see what you got first before you start blowing up your top 6 and stuff. But they should have plenty of opportunity. Like I'm hoping Rossi can kind of be a leader there. Like right now with Pettersson, I think right after the trade went to IR, like he's the number 1 center right now. So happy, just really excited to see what they can do. And I think like if there's one kind of like, I don't know, like positive if you're getting traded, but like to be moved with 2 other teammates, like you talk
young
about
teammates too,
yeah. It's like, hey, like at least we can, at least we're kind of in this together, right? Like, we're kind of doing all this thing together. So, let's get into the analytics side of things and just kind of we've alluded to it a little bit, but like kind of on some of the specifics of what Quinn Hughes brings to this roster. I think the best way this was summed up, Mike Kelly on Twitter, who I've quoted him a bunch. Go follow him if you don't. Really good insights, analytically, kind of across the league. So I've always said the Wild are a really good team on the forecheck. They haven't typically attacked very well in the rush. They've at times really struggled to get out of the defensive zone. Like they've been a team that oftentimes is like, I'm going to flip it off the boards. Like I think it's some Hines helped improve with them. It was kind of getting those center breakouts, getting out of the zone a little bit better. But like that is like those things are like the Quinn Hughes special. Like Isha, to your point, like he is an unbelievable skater. He can protect the puck extremely well.
His positionally, he's always in the right spot. And if he's not, it's always something wacky, like running into the net or just like blowing a tire.
Yeah, it's like to quote Mike here in his tweet, like he is a one-man breakout.
Yeah.
Like, and as we talked just saw
those
him in goaltending.
passes too behind the net. You'll see those passages up through the neutral zone, corner of the blue line, and he did the other night too.
And we just saw, it wasn't really a breakout, it was a neutral zone regroup, but the third goal the Wild scored tonight, Hughes gets the puck in the neutral zone, makes a power move to protect the puck, gets into the zone, starts the attack, the Wild score on the ensuing kind of flurry of chances. Like little things like that. I have some other clips here in the chat. This was a chance, I think, in his first game with Faber. If you want to go ahead and pull that one up. I think I have it on the outline if you have the clips. I don't know if you have them.
Oh, yeah, one second.
But so for those watching, head over to YouTube. It'll be a little hard. I'll try to do my best Joe O'Donnell impression. And there we go. Empty netter for Kirill. Bingo, bingo,
Damn it!
bingo.
They should have put Ben Jones on.
Well, they might still pull. It's only a 2-goal lead now, and there's still 2 minutes left. So, but like just this little play, like in the neutral zone, like little give and go, sick little drop pass here on the zone entry to Tarasenko. Faber gets in the high slot, just misses. Like just those little touch plays too. Like just awesome. And then I don't think we have to show this one, but if you go to my Twitter page, Mike Kelly put out a really good video of just kind of going through kind of these breakouts, these neutral zone regroups, all that kind of stuff. Like if you're looking like, hey, like what does Brett mean when he's talking about zone entries and zone exits? Like this is what I'm talking about. Like just like just little plays here, like just getting the puck down low, protects the puck, boom, out of the zone, like instantly out of the zone, and then we're going offense to defense.
How smooth,
defense to,
right there too. The way he just shuffles. Oh my god!
Walks the blue line, puck protection, and
his shot, Brett. His shot's underrated too. He has a good wrist shot.
Yep, accurate. Looks like another one behind the net. Boom, hits the winger, outlet pass while they're out of the zone. And oh my god, look, Ben Jones scoring chance. Like just little plays.
I was looking forward to it. This one here, you're gonna see this all the time. By the way, you're gonna see this all the time. Like
just
like
long pass. Like he is a cheat code. Like just with his vision and some of the things that he can do. And like this is just Quinn Hughes after like I still don't think the Wild have practiced since he got here. I think they've had a couple morning skates, but I don't think they've practiced.
I think he had one because he was talking about it.
Well, because they were. Well, I think it was morning skate.
Okay. Oh yeah. It wasn't
because
a full.
I don't think they've had like a full on practice, which I don't think they've practiced in quite a while. But like as he continues to kind of learn the systems, kind of learns how to feed off Brock Faber. Like we've talked at length on this show about the importance of chemistry and just learning about where guys are going to be on the ice. Like we haven't even gotten to the power play yet. Like he is going to be a force on the power play. We've already seen it a little bit. This goal was the other night against Washington. Like just look at how many times like leading up to this goal that he touches the puck and the decision making is so quick. Boom, shot, right? And then I love this. I think it's an exchange with Boldy here. They'll do a really quick little like give and go. I think he does it right.
Yeah.
Boom, right back to Boldy one time. Like he knew where he was going with that puck before it happened. Like the Wild have never had, and then eventually puck to the net, hits Eck, Krill finds the rebound, back of the net. Like he is going to do things that we've just never seen defensemen on the Wild do ever. Like you look at his career, the Wild, the most points ever by a defenseman in a season. Bolds. Empty netter.
It's pissing me off that he's not putting Ben Jones out there.
You
know what? No, you know why? It's just like John Cooper would have done it. Hines just ain't that coach. You know what I mean?
You definitely would have liked to see it.
John Cooper would have 100% put him out there for those last two shifts. But anyways, I digress.
Great face off there. Oh,
hey, happy birthday, RJ.
Hey, what Wild W on your birthday? Always take that.
Very nice, very nice.
6 in a row with 7 guys out of the lineup. Not too shabby.
Welcome to Minnesota, Quinn Hughes. In Vancouver with 7 guys out of the lineup, they just lost every game. Here, they dominate.
Yeah, so does he have any points? Is he point per game with the Wild yet? Nope. This one. Players. Is he on the score sheet tonight? Nope, he's a -1. But like the best season in Wild history from the blue line offensively, Ryan Suter twice had 51 points. Quinn Hughes has played, I think now, and this is like his 7th season, I think. The fewest he's ever had was 41, and he played 56 games that season. I think that was the COVID-shortened season.
Because, he stays relatively healthy, too.
Yeah. He
because no one can hit him.
In every other season, he has scored at least 53, And then the year he won the Norris, I believe he had 92. Like, we are talking nearly like double the production potentially from we've ever seen from Wild defensemen. Like, it is like it's so hard to explain. Like, I had a lot of like
he's a top 3 defenseman in the league that the Minnesota Wild, in the world,
in the world.
I say the league, but the world, and the Minnesota Wild of all franchises, the state of hockey just brought him in. And apparently, like, he's a hockey nerd too. Russo and Joe Smith and even everybody back in Vancouver, like he's checking the standings. He's seeing who's doing good, kind of like the Kachuk brothers do as well. Like, they're very much into the game. And I feel like compared to his brothers,
tabs on prospects, like
and I feel like compared to his brothers, he's kind of the odd one out. Like, I said this on the last 2 shows. Like, I bet, and this, I believe this to be true, and this just illustrates their personality so well. I believe after Jack went out for dinner with Tate McRae, he probably called his bro and was like, "Yo, like, I just went out for dinner with Tate McRae," and I truly believe Quinn Hughes' response was, "Who the fuck is Tate McRae?"
He's like, I'm watching Pavel Datsuk highlights.
So anyway, a little tongue in cheek there, but still, that kind of illustrates that he's a little different. He's very much lives and breathes. And he even said, like, I like that I'm close to Michigan. I like how I'm like close to just like, it's hockey here and it's not in Canada. So
like I'm excited for him to see the Wild usually are on the road during the state hockey tournament, but like I know they've historically thrown it up in the locker room and stuff before. Like, being able to experience like, hey, this is how passionate our fans get about high school hockey. And I think, like, not to say Vancouver didn't treat Quinn Hughes well. Like, I know how much that fan base loved that kid, but like,
they were never critical of him. Like, they never turned on him like they have Pettersson.
Well, and you look at a standing ovation after warmups, and just like I thought it was really cool if you listened on the broadcast. So after Quinn Hughes scored his first game, scores a goal, and LaPanta and I think it was Stalock that were on the call for that game. Like, after kind of the puck drop following the goal, like, LaPanta's kind of like, they just went quiet, and you could just hear the crowd just like roaring. Like, I don't care how well you're treating your previous city, like, first game there, like, you have that crowd like, hey, like, these guys love me, they love hockey. Like, I was joking with Marissa Voss, friend of the show, like, my Twitter impressions of the past week, I have 1 million impressions on Twitter, just pretty much exclusively tweeting about Quinn Hughes. Like, he has injected life into this team, into the fan base. Like, it's just like the ripple effects. Like, I have people who don't give 2 shits about hockey, like, that are texting me like, Brett, what did the Wild just do? Like, explain in NBA terms. I'm like, I don't know NBA.
They got like, the second or third best player in the NBA, dude.
I was like, who's one of the best players in the NBA? Like, the Wild just did the equivalent of that. Like, I don't know. So it's just like the excitement, like everything, like he just brings things that the Wild have been missing. And like, is he the final piece of the puzzle? I don't think so, but he is like 10 of the final 11 probably that they needed. It's just, there's been like some ups and downs. Like, there's been a couple turnovers. I guess I think he'll finish tonight. I think a -1. I think he was on the ice for the first 2 Columbus goals, but looking at the replays, bad turnover by Faber and then a bad turnover by Pitlick. And then I think both times he was basically left on an island to defend odd man rushes, and not his fault there. And like I said, I think as he continues to learn the system, learn the teams, learn the guys' tendencies, like, to your point, Isha, and to quote him, like, this is a sick team. And as he continues to kind of learn just the ins and outs of Minnesota Wild hockey, like, it's going to be really exciting. I'm really excited to see, like, the power play. Like, electric to start the year really has cooled off over the last month. Like, if there's one thing to kind of be upset about over the last month, it is the power play. I am excited to see, especially when Zuccarello comes back. Like, you have to worry about Quinn Hughes and Matt Zuccarello feeding Matt Boldy and Kirill Kaprizov off the puck with Joel Eriksson parked in front of the net. Terrifying. So I'm just still a little bit in shock that, like, he's on our team, the team I cheer for. Like, pretty freaking awesome to have one of the best players at his position in the world on the team that you cheer for. But, like, big shouts to Bill Guerin for pulling the trigger, like, giving up a lot. Just really excited to see kind of just the impact immediately and long term for what Quinn Hughes does to the Minnesota Wild, the franchise, the fan base overall. Because I think it's the sky is the limit, I think, for me.
Yeah, I mean, I can't follow any of that up because I've been swooning for him for like 7 years.
So
I said, though, like, Dennis Savard was the last guy who I saw skate as good as Quinn Hughes. And I think Quinn Hughes is a better skater. And again, it's not north-south speed because we know McKinnon and McDavid, they got that. And there's a lot of other players who've had that north-south speed. But the way this guy just carves, it's insane. It's insane.
It's not dissimilar from Kaprizov, like the edge work, the play in tight spaces, the ability to escape pressure. I think to me when he does, it just looks it's smoother.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden he just like pirouettes and you're like, how the fuck did he like how did he get by that guy? You know, just little.
It's like some figure
that.
skating shit. It's like some Jeff Skinner ass shit.
Yeah. So.
All right. So anything on the analytics here that you want to highlight?
Yeah, I think you just look at like so the one I did want to hit on, like we talked about the zone entries and stuff, and also like you look at just kind of what he brings on the offensive side of the puck. The card on the right, that's from JFresh Hockey on Twitter, one of my favorite follows. He does these player cards, basically grades their offense. So EV offense is going to be things like expected goals, Corsi. It's like all that kind of rolled into one thing, and then he tiers players off into percentile. So the 100th percentile is like the best offensive player in the league. The 0th percentile is like one of the worst players in the league. Quinn Hughes is in the 99th percentile of defensemen when it comes to creating offense. The next closest Wild player on that list, I believe, is Spurgeon. I think he's at a very nice 69%. And then it's Zach Bogosian at like 46%. I think the rest of the blue line is like 30, 30, 10. Like pretty much doubling the offensive output that we've seen from any of our other skaters. We talked about just his ability to break out of the zone, the controlled entries, the puck retrievals. Like if you pull up all these cards for all the Wild, like all the things that Quinn Hughes does well, very few other players in the Wild do any of that even remotely well. And I think you look at just kind of what it does to your top four. You like we even saw it tonight, and partially it's probably because they're playing with half the blue line hurt right now, but Quinn Hughes is pretty much out there every time Kaprizov is out there. Like he is going to be basically a fourth forward for the Wild's top six. And I think you look at all of a sudden now that gives the opportunity to have your second pairing be Jonas Brodin and Jared Spurgeon, like two of the most elite shutdown defensemen on, you know,
who don't have to eat a lot of minutes, who can be fresh.
Yeah, and like now
right?
you can not only match Eck, you can not only match Foligno, you can now match Brodin. Like,
dude, with this team healthy, like it's crazy.
It's crazy. Matchups. It changes the matchups. Like it opens up your offense. It lets you.
Dude, that Russian line will be the third line. Like the Russian line, which has been the best line the last two games, will be the friggin' third line.
It is
like imagine their matchups.
And maybe we'll kind of see what happens as they get healthy. And you know if it's still.
Dude, don't fix what ain't broken, dude.
But like when Zuccarello comes back, like is it Hartman, Zuccarello, Kaprizov? Like is that? If you're keeping the other line together, that's kind of what it has to be.
It might be, but...
And to Hartman's credit, I've been critical of him. He has played much better, basically since the Hughes trade. It was really funny because when we were watching the Ottawa game at my nephew's birthday party this past weekend, and I was like, God, Hartman sucks. And it like, this guy's been playing terrible lately, and I'm shit at you not, it was 30 seconds later he scored. And I've been getting texts.
And he scored tonight, too?
Yep, from my mom and my brother and because my dad and I were talking about it. We're like, yep, Hartman hasn't been playing well. At this point, they should probably trade him. And then he scores that one. And now every time, like, I think he's on a 4-game point streak now since acquiring Hughes. And so I've gotten texts from my mom, my brother, like, keep bashing Hartman. And I was like, well, good. This is what we pay the guy to do. Like, I know the offense is there.
Dude, I swear, Tarasenko watched our show, saw the tweets, and went, what's a rub off mean? And just went fucking nuts.
The right way. How much does that rub off on you and the rest of the team?
What's a rub off means?
So good. It's funny it's just one of those clips that's funny every time you watch
every
it.
time, yeah.
No
And if you watch the clip further, you'll see Petrangelo's face just like, what?
But I think like and like you have to love like very briefly like Danilo Yurov, like that's the one thing I put it in my initial reaction to the trade, but I think like the Minnesota Wild, like we know they're starved for centers, and I think the Wild deciding to move on from Marco Rossi midseason was a gigantic vote of confidence in Danilo Yurov.
Hell yeah! And I mean, like, look, they might still acquire a center, you know,
for sure.
Someone of like the O'Reilly at this stage in his career, or a McCann, you know, something like that to just like kind of replace where Rossi's level and just where he was in the lineup. But I agree 100%, Brett. And I was talking about that on Monday as well with Hoppy, in that, like, do I think that they're done potentially trying to make a move to bring someone else in for center depth? No, but like if they don't end up getting that piece, like Yurov has been excellent.
Yeah, and is he going to replace 60 points of production this season? No. But, I mean, we just saw a 3-point game from him last night playing with Vladdy. I think he had at least one other point tonight, I think, because I know he scored, I believe, right? He got the goal off the Tarasenko feed, I believe. Or no, he fed Tarasenko, I think.
Yeah. Return the favor for that beautiful pass.
Yeah, Tarasenko from Trenton and Yurov. So, yeah, another point tonight, so 4 points in his last 2 games. Like, again, is it sustainable? Probably not. But, like, you're seeing, like, you look at the Yurov that we saw in the month of October, and then, you know, I talked about the healthy scratch, came back, like, put with Foligno and Trenton on the fourth line for a while, played phenomenal. Injuries happen, bumps up the lineup, starts producing some points, starts driving play a little bit better. Like, you can just see everything just slowly clicking for him. Still a really young player. Like,
yeah.
KHL
Well, and
success.
chemistry is just like again, when Kirill Kaprizov came to the Wild, did we ever think the guy that was going to be his guy would be Zuccarello? No. Right. And it's like,
right.
Did we think that it would take putting these 3 Russians together to get Tarasenko going? No, but shit, man, it's working. And credit to Trenton. He has looked good and I think has done everything but score. So everything else that he was expected to do this year,
yeah.
Like he's the fastest player on the team.
Well, and it's not like he's not getting chances. They're just not.
Yeah, well, and
in.
now he has players who can fucking put the puck in the net. So let's go, dude. Like, yeah, I've been very impressed with them. I love this line. It's so much fun. Whether it's sustainable or not, I don't want to see it be broken up just yet.
He has the fastest top speed of any player this season, which for a guy that when they traded or when they signed him was like, this guy's slow. Like, no, he's the fastest player on the team. Even faster than JoJo. Like he can motor. He's hitting. So yeah I think you got to love what you've seen from that. I think Foligno being back, like you've seen just kind of the little swagger at the Wild to play with him returning. So
God, when he went off to the bench of that first shift though against the Capitals, I was like, oh my God. Came back on the ice though, and yeah, I hope Hunt is okay too. That was a nasty.
Yeah, I'm shocked that we didn't hear that Johansson had like an ACL or Achilles or something. Like it looked like a non-contact knee injury, which is always pretty scary. But sounds of it, he's day to day. It sounds like they're anticipating maybe getting a couple players back this weekend. But yeah, lots to be excited about. I mean, the Wild have now won 6 in a row. They've won their last 4 without like half their lineup essentially.
Thanks, Quinn Hughes and some of the other guys, stepping up. But you got to imagine this just elevates the team too. Like, holy fuck, Billy Guerin just brought in this guy, and wow, he's already so damn good. And Faber's playing like a freaking maniac out there, making some little mistakes here or there. But I just love how just like spazzy and just like, okay, I'm with Quinn. I got to be on my toes. And it's going to look a little sloppy until he's able to read off all his players. And he says, I'm more of a read off my like teammates kind of player versus a systems guy. Dude, once him and Faber really start like, once it's more polished, oh my God,
for
dude,
sure.
It's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah. So yeah, like, man, like we'll see if we can find some time. I mean, obviously with Quinn Hughes and the Wild playing well, we want to try to do shows, but with the holidays coming up, both New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve.
I will be live almost every single day covering World Juniors. Next week, I'm going to be doing a preview for every single World Junior team. I'm going to be going to a few of the games. I'll let you guys know which one as well. So I'll be buzzing here. Brett, obviously, like the keys to the castle, whenever he's free, he'll probably jump on. But yeah, a lot of World Junior coverage in the next couple weeks, guys. And I'll continue to sneak a Wild game in, but obviously like the schedule slows down a little bit in the next 2 weeks. But yeah, we are all in on World Juniors. By the way, guys, check out, we had Brandon Duhaime on the show on Monday, Fellowship of the Rink. I just linked it in the chat here. He's a beauty, as you guys know, fan favorite here, fan favorite with the Capitals. But he tells a really funny story about maybe having or maybe thinking about bringing in extra security because he's like, wait, Fleury has access to everything there? And they're like, yeah, he's a part of the team. And he's like, oh shit. So we'll have to bring him on again soon to see if he did get pranked.
Yeah, it was a great interview. I listened to that. Some good questions from Joe and Hoppy. So that was a good episode. But yeah, I think I'm hoping to try to get some World Juniors games. They finally released the upper level tickets.
Yeah, let me know which ones you're circling. I'm definitely I want to go see the Czechs. I want to see Switzerland because they're always fun as well.
I'm working on finalizing with my dad, like based on my schedule. I'm looking at the 26th, 27th, and then depending on maybe semifinals on January 4th.
Okay.
But the rest of the days I'm doing, we're going to be doing a bunch of wedding venue tours over
Oh,
winter break. So we got some crossover there. So
fun stuff. Well, I know Brett's going to bed here soon. I am going to be covering Peruvian MMA
there you go.
for like the next hour or so. So if you guys want to join in and watch me there talk about that, it's on UFC Fight Pass for those who have that. Link is in the chat as well. So
I'm looking. I don't know what your schedule looks like, but maybe we'll squeeze a show in. I think December 30th potentially. There's no Wild game that day. I have no plans in the evening as of now, so maybe we'll try to jump on and get a show in there because between now and then, the Wild have a tough schedule coming up. Edmonton on Saturday, Sunday against Colorado, and then we go into some divisional games after that with Nashville and Winnipeg. And then they're going to get Vegas, San Jose, Anaheim, and LA back-to-back as part of a Pacific road trip. And then we'll be back after that on January 7th, but maybe squeaking one in there between Winnipeg and Vegas on the 30th there potentially. So, but we'll still, like you said, you'll be live streaming World Juniors. If we're there, obviously come say hi. Would love to see some of you there. Supporting the U.S., watching some good players play. Canada's bringing a pretty sick team to that tournament.
Canada ain't you losing to Latvia this year, boys. Tell you that much.
They have like, I think at least 5 or 6 players that have played significant time in the NHL this year.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get, I think, either Dickinson or there was one other defenseman, I think, that they're trying to see if they'll get permission to bring them along. But yeah, so pretty sweet roster that they're bringing. So there'll be a lot of talent on display there. I don't know do the Wild have any prospects playing? I'm not sure off the top of my head.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but
They're all busy going to the Olympics.
Yeah, exactly. They'll have whatever.
Everybody.
Well, if you count Hughes,
literally everybody.
Well, if you count Hughes in the mix, now it's going to be 12, I think. So,
yeah,
pretty awesome there. But yeah, so hopefully we'll try to get a show on the 30th. Otherwise, for sure back on January 7th. So if we don't see you before then, Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. Happy New Year. Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever holiday you have. I hope it's really special. Enjoy time with friends, family. Stay warm out there as well. But appreciate you tuning in. Wild won 6 in a row. Quinn Hughes is a member of the team.
Oh, Kivi, how are you?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I forgot
he's like, I think he's 19 or 20. So yeah, he's last year thing. I think he's probably going to be captain too. So thank you.
So
anyways, there we go. Yes, guys, happy holidays. Thank you so much for supporting the show, and we will see you very soon.
See you next time. Later.